If you are new to stock market investing and are wondering what the heck is going on with Nvidia stock, we're going to take a look at that here in this video. So basically, if you haven't been watching the news and knowing what's going on, you may be freaked out by what's going on with Nvidia stock because it was up around $800, and I'm going to show you an image here in just a second, and now it's sort of plummeted in price pretty quickly. But it's also been in the news pretty much constantly over the past couple weeks for a lot of different reasons. Well, the first thing we're going to dive into is why there was the massive price drop from around $800 to around $200. So if we look here, you can see, like, let's look, 6 months out. So people basically, especially if you're new to investing, you may be watching like, oh, Nvidia stock's done really well, especially over the past, month or so, and then all of a sudden, boom, price drop. To a lot of people, this could cause a massive amount of panic, seeing a stock go down this much this quickly. But what's actually happening is this is not a price drop in the way that the actual value of the stock has dropped. So what this is called is a stock split. So this is something that companies will do, and Tesla did this about 6 months ago or so, or actually probably about a year ago at this point. But a stock split is just a way of making a stock either more marketable or basically just a way of making it more marketable for investors. So when the stock was up around $800, it frankly becomes less and less affordable. So when it becomes less and less affordable, there's less talk about it, there's less investing in it, just because $800 per share is a little hard to swallow. So when $800 a share is a little hard to swallow, what the company does is they decide, all right, wow, I wish we could have our stock price be, say, closer to $200. And so what they'll do is they'll basically say, we're going to do a stock split. So then what they do is they say, all right, your one $800 stock is now 4 $200 stocks. So what this does is it just increases the number of total shares of stock in the market in total, but it doesn't actually change the value of those shares. So think of it this way. So say you have a pizza. Well, may have just, if you cut it into fours, you have just 4 giant slices of that pizza, right? Or you may say, oh, all right, there's 12 of us. That's too big of slices for the group that we have now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those 4 slices and we're going to chop it up into 12 slices. So now we basically have the same pizza, but just in thinner slices. So that's the same thing that happens with a stock split. It doesn't actually change the size of the company. It basically, you're just changing the value of each of those shares by making more shares. So this is a common misconception because there tends to be a lot of trading and stuff around stock splits, thinking that the value's actually changed, or that it is either a more marketable stock, so therefore it's going to be all of a sudden growing more, or some people look at it the opposite way. But long story short, there's really no change in the company. It's just purely a way to attract investors that may not be willing to pay $800 for the stock. So that's basically what's going on with Nvidia from the main price stock drop piece of the puzzle. But some other reasons that Nvidia has been in the news a lot lately. One is potential purchase of ARM chip manufacturer in China, and also the cryptocurrency markets. So the ARM chip manufacturer, basically one of the reasons that that's really intriguing and why people are talking about it is because that would basically give Nvidia, who is a chip manufacturer and GPU manufacturer, a lot of power in the chip manufacturing space, because ARM basically they don't necessarily do manufacturing themselves, but they do a lot of patents and stuff for companies like Apple and Qualcomm. So therefore if Nvidia purchases them, it could give Nvidia a lot of power in that market. So that's one reason, but also I guess more pertinent reason you see Nvidia in the news a lot lately is because Nvidia, one of the reasons that it has risen as well as it has over the past several years, and even it went up 80% in the past year. Part of the reason for that is just by nature of what it does. So these GPUs are used in things like driverless technologies. They're used in artificial intelligence, but more, I guess, hurting it right now is those GPUs are used for mining of cryptocurrencies. And over the past couple weeks, cryptocurrencies have sort of experienced a lot of volatility, and there's been a lot of talk that this is, essentially, a major cryptocurrency crisis on the ledge. So what happened last time we saw a major drop in cryptocurrencies, when people started basically that we're getting out of the mining game, started selling all of their chips for pennies on the dollar, and sort of flooded the market with all these unused Nvidia GPUs. Well, that's bad news for a manufacturer of GPUs who's producing new GPUs if there's all of a sudden a lot of supply and less demand, which also therefore impacts the earnings of the company, impacts the stock of the company, and because people are going to perceive that as less valuable because there's a lot of secondary market parts for it. So these are all components that kind of are making Nvidia a lot more volatile, over the past couple weeks, and also putting it in the news a lot over the past couple weeks, just because there's starting to be a lot of speculation with, is this growth sustainable? What's going to happen to the chip manufacturer now that, or GPU manufacturer now that, the cryptocurrency markets are taking a hit, so on and so forth. So just because it's been in the news a lot lately, I wanted to make sure I kind of digested all this stuff for you guys. But hopefully you found this video valuable, and if you did, make sure you like and subscribe, because we're going to be putting out a lot of content as per usual to educate you in the realm of finance on how to earn more, keep more, and grow more money. So until next time, cheers.